Hello, YouTube. Well, in my last video, alright now, I made mention of, you going this way? Oh, um, I made mention in my last video, that, I have, I subscribe to a lot of people. I listen to what they say, and, uh, I like to listen to the way people think and stuff. But, there's a real, I don't know, I like to understand, the way people think, because I'm kind of a philosophical type. But in philosophy, I have more of a propensity toward metaphysics, reality. So I like I like to hear about experience. I think, experience is pretty. It's a pretty solid. Uh, well, it's a. I don't know. Everything is experience. And there are a lot of paper tigers on YouTube. They're philosophers and New Agers and um, I don't know, Christians and Buddhists and all atheists, all kinds of people that are really paper tigers. Um, they really, work up hours and hours of videos arguing about what's in the books they read. Now, reading books is an experience, but, metaphysically, it doesn't really hack it, you know what I mean? Um, how do you know anything that you ever read in any book is valid? You know what I mean? Um, I don't know. There's so many things like that. So many people have. Maybe it's television all these years where people sit for 6 hours a day watching, television programs. So, they have nothing to do. And the only experience they're having is just the consideration of some writer's script, with scenes and pictures or whatever. And they think that, the whole life is, the comment on the television show. That's their job in life. They have to sit there and comment on the script that they just saw enacted on TV. And, everything, every reality is just their opinion of the moving images or what the words were or, what they read on the screen or whatever. So it's like it's a paper tiger world on YouTube. There's so many of them. And so anyway, it's like, but they really, everybody goes Star Trek when somebody says, is there a God or does God exist? The Christians, everybody, it doesn't matter who they are, the philosophers, the Christians, the atheists, the Buddhists, everybody goes Star Trek. Everybody rushes away from the Earth to the beginning of the universe. And everybody's trying to give you a blow-by-blow account of how the universe began. Whatever it was. Everything that happened. 10 to the minus 33 seconds beyond the Big Bang. Everybody's giving an opinion. What does that have to do with the existence of God? You know, how anybody would interpret the Big Bang. I mean, this, you talk about, um, uh, little stories on paper. I'm telling you, it's the weirdest thing. And, even if it doesn't go to the Big Bang, everything is a paper argument, the legal document is exactly what is needed, but the courts will validate that, and put some people in prison and give other people money, you know what I mean? Just get that document right, So it's terrible, it's really awful. I mean, really, I guess, I don't know. Is it, is it the world has been given up to the lawyers or what? It's a strange, strange thing. I think it's so odd that nobody tells a story on YouTube. I don't know if anybody has told one. You know, like when I was young, I spent many years, many years of my young life. My great grandfather lived, and he was born, in the late 1800s. He entered college in the year 1900. So he's just a teenager. And the turn of, from, 1900, the 1900s began. And, um, and he studied engineering. So he, uh, he was a great guy, and he was part of my inspiration, when I went to school that I would study engineering. I didn't finish it like he did. He finished it and he had a career as an engineer. He did a lot of things. He worked in, the development of, let me see, he said his specialty was tunneling through rock. So he helped install a lot of these railroad passes through mountains and stuff, when he finished his engineering, went on, did things. But anyway, and he really told stories about his life. He told, and they were fascinating stories because, you're talking about, the early 1900s. It was still pretty much the Wild West out there. So he told very interesting stories about his work life. And uh, anyway, but I mean, the principle of it was the important thing. You know, the principle of it was that that was all of humanity. Uh, up until my grandfather's time. Everybody had to tell stories. People had to be storytellers. They had to relate their experience. They had to tell other people about their experiences in order to survive. Nobody thinks it's necessary anymore. People don't report their experiences. Everybody has a secret Walter Mitty life, and they will talk about that, but they don't talk about their real life, and what actually happens, So it's like this. It's completely reverse of the condition of Walter Mitty. Walter Mitty had this imaginary life that he didn't tell anybody about, and the secret life of Walter Mitty. But it's like on YouTube, everybody tells the secret imaginary life, and nobody says anything about really what happens to them. Nobody does. So, and it's so odd, philosophers and Christians and whatnot, they don't